And there's also going to be a question of was the log going to address the Gemini or not. They didn't feel it was necessary, and here we go again. Simplified Gaming going to run the Gemini once again. So as you can see, we are already moving along here. So let's take a closer look and see what it started all this drafting stage now. Keeper of the Force was the first man. Kraken and Warbeast coming out from the law. Keeper of the Force and Ophelia coming out from Simplified Gaming. So Team Excellent, I keep saying Team Excellent because I see Pew. But anyways, the law more concerned about banning the Kraken even than perhaps addressing the Gemini over here. So, but again, they are going to go with the Gemini. It was the Engineer first pick, followed by Ravener, Tempest Response, Bubbles, Gemini, into Sandwraith coming out for the law. So that's how things are shaping up so far. Going in the next year bans, though, if you're Simplified Gaming, one kind of wonder if eyeing that Empath ban, perhaps. I definitely wouldn't put it out of the question of the law, perhaps going an Empath pickup here. So perhaps looking to ban that. But yeah, definitely both sides have their strong starts, to say the least. Definitely more support heavy. Again, bans coming out for Simplified Gaming, as the law could very likely go for a couple of supports now with their final 2 picks here to either run some kind of an aggressive trial lane or the 2-2-1 setup most likely. They could run the jungle as well, especially if you leave the likeliness of Parasite on the board. They did it last game. We'll see if that gets banned out as well. So the captain over here, Link06, going to be throwing out his first ban here in the near future. But again, so here we are in the losers bracket round 2, just to kind of reiterate, and as it always is, guys, here for day number 2 of the cycle, we start off with the losers bracket matchup, then we move on to the winner bracket semifinals. The winner bracket semifinal matchup that we're going to cast is Lion Esports Club versus Too Much Sugar. That'll be after this, and you definitely should be interested to watch that one, not only because it's just 2 great teams going at it, but once again, TMSR, they are using Archie Tiger in place of Keizu currently, although Archie Tiger is not necessarily the absolute new 5th for the team. He is, from my understanding, just currently stepping in for Keizu. But Lion Esports Club, this is a team that they just seem like they take care of business. Again, they got knocked out eventually by State Green in the semifinals at DreamHack, so they're kind of coming off of that a little bit sour, I'm sure, and looking to get revenge via HoN Tour now. But as they're also trying to get their 3rd straight cycle victory here, as they're coming off back-to-back cycle wins, of course. So, speaking of the other semifinal matchup, Stay Green versus Denial Esports, the reason why I say we're going to be casting the TMSR versus Lions no matter what is because that matchup is actually being rescheduled to later in the week. I believe Stay Green is currently in mid-travel right now in terms of getting back to their homes and whatnot, as they've been enjoying their time post-DreamHack, and as they should, as I keep going back to. I mean, and when it comes down to it, they had a big victory there, and why not enjoy your time while you're out in that area? So, so that's going to be rescheduled. But again, so we'll be covering Lions versus TMSR with the following semifinal matchup. But now, as you can see, the banning stage, in fact, wrapping up. So let's take a closer look. Parasite, there you go. Parasite, Pestilence, Empath, Scout, Aluna, and Flux. So kind of as expected, the Parasite, the Empath coming out, and then the Aluna support even on top of that. The Pestilence, Scout, Flux, though, coming out from the law. Again, they are respecting that Flux power, and hell, there's no Kraken this time, but there's a Tempest and an Engineer. So by all means, banning a Flux right here makes a lot of sense. So here we are, back over to Simplified Gaming now. Their response pick, Magnus, going to be coming out. Magnus not so much a go-to hero. I mean, he does pop his head every now and then, and in this case, possibly going to be going kind of old school here to something like an NG Magnus combination with that Magnus pick. It could easily be a Suicide Magnus as well. That definitely wouldn't be out of the question, but we'll see what that ends up being. Glacia is going to be the response from the law. You do see also Behemoth being right-click. We actually saw we casted the law yesterday in their first round matchup. Who were they playing against? Actually, they were playing against You Love to Party. That's right, and they actually did run the Behemoth one of those games. I think it was even a Behemoth Aluna, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, so they are known for running that Behemoth from time to time. Perhaps we'll see. I know Pew likes to play that. So that wouldn't be out of the question. Prisoner going to be the pickup for Simplified Gaming. So it is going to end up being a Suicide Magnus most likely. They got the Prisoner Engineer combo. They got Gemini for that short lane, and then Tempest in the jungle is what we're probably going to end up seeing here from Simplified Gaming. As far as the law is concerned, we're still waiting for their final pick now, but They're going to be putting some thought into this one. Again, the Behemoth being right-clicked this whole time, but we'll see what they end up with. Again, most likely the other support. If Behemoth leans towards more of an aggressive tri-lane setup, if they go something like a Torturer here, then, in fact, Torturer would definitely be a strong pick. I mean, it's a good babysit for the Sand Wraith. They are going to go Andromeda, also another sound pick, of course, and that's actually another great, well, it is the only way to be able to stop a Tempest with a Shrunken Head, so that they currently have, so that actually makes sense. They wanted a way to be able to address that if it comes to it, so, and also just a sound support option. So yeah, they go the Andromeda to finish things off, and definitely can see where they're coming from with that final pick. So here we go, game number 2. Simplified Gaming, currently up 1-0. We'll see if they can manage to get a sweep here, or if the Law is going to force the third and final game. Again, the Gemini pick, though, once again coming out in the hands here of Windon. I assume he's going to be going the very same build. In fact, he actually has a different avatar this game. It's not often you see that from back-to-back games using different avatar for the same hero. But anywho, he is like I was saying, I expect him to go the same build, especially when it comes to the skill build. And like we were talking about last game, he maxed out his passive, being the Elemental Force. He leveled up his ultimate, of course. He only got the 1 level into Twin Fangs, and then he just went stats for there and out. I don't know exactly how many stats he got before he put a point into Twin Breath. I'm not sure I caught that, but point being, it was very interesting and fun to watch. You see the bottom lane to start things off. Actually, kind of interesting here. What are we seeing? Gemini is currently at the top with the 2 warded sights on him, so looks like he's going to be warned. But this is interesting, because what are they going to be doing? I mean, Magnus, he's heading bottom here. Magnus does have the hatchet. He doesn't have a shield, though. He just went for the regen here and a mana potion on top of that. You got Tempest, of course, so the 4 mana potions is sitting on that 400 gold. He's going to wait and see what he has to do. You see the Law, they're working through the jungle. No warded sights placed just yet, though. You got Andromeda, though, kind of sneaking on over. He's probably going to block this camp over here. Yep, the Rev War goes down. And going to take care of that camp. Ravener, no wards on him. But Ravener going to be playing aggressive here with the Andromeda, it looks like. So kind of an interesting setup by both sides. What is going on here? How about this? Simplified Gaming. I think it comes down to, I mean, they were expecting more of an aggressive lane here, so that they're predicting the Law's lanes in terms of what the Law's doing, and so they decided to send the Gemini long lane now to match up against the Sand Wraith, a much better matchup than against the Andromeda Ravener, of course, which it would have been by himself. And in fact, they actually sent the Engineer down here to go with the Magnus. I mean, how about this? Simplified Gaming really kind of calling the lanes here from the Law. This does mean Prisoner is going to be matched up against Bubbles in mid, of course, and not necessarily the most favorable match for Prisoner there. And Bubbles should have actually a pretty good time here, being played by Beaver. But yeah, they have the Engineer at bottom, and they got kind of a defensive pseudo tri-lane now to go up against this Ravener Andromeda. I mean, both sides definitely have some good kill potential, but I'd figure this Magnus should have some decent farm, especially with the setup. But yeah, this is the one scary thing about going the Suicide Gemini, because in the end, it does mean that, as you see, he's going to be going up against 2, I guess. I mentioned he's going up against Sand Wraith, but yeah, okay. For some reason, I thought the Glacius was also going to be coming bottom, but no, he's actually at the top lane, and it is going to be a 2 versus 1 up here. So Gemini, not necessarily the most friendliest for him. So now I'm actually looking at this, and whoa, actually, he's doing some good damage to Glacius right here. He does have a Twin Fangs, but he's not going to be able to use it aggressively, knowing that Glacius could possibly dodge it. Wouldn't be too much of a risk, and decides to use it to get away. But so they're running a Suicide Gemini, really, instead of a Suicide Magnus here. And so that's where it's actually a little bit, I don't know how I feel about that now, because it was one thing without the Glacius being up there, but with him up there, definitely changes things. But Glacius actually coming to the bottom lane. Engineer going to be frozen right here out of nowhere. He's going to be blocked up by Ravener. One more auto attack. Can he get close to him? No, the health potion comes out, and Tep is going to help blocks them out somewhat. He's going to now start running away as Andromeda throws out the Comet Stun, the follow-up from Ravener. There's the portal with the ball lightning. Magnus cannot do much, and Bloodlust kill will happen actually on the Tempest instead of Engineer right there. So that's unfortunate for Simplified Gaming. Well played by the Law. Good port in from Glacius coming in even. I mean, so this is actually the Law. They're responding right here, and they want to make some plays down here at the bottom lane. And the port in from Glacius results in results in a bloodless kill, in fact, in favor of Glacius. So it's actually well played on their part, and it's unfortunate for Simplified Gaming, too, that that ended up being a Tempest dying instead of the Engineer. But they are going to combo Andromeda right here. Ravener doing a good job of countering Andromeda throughout the combos down. The auto attacks. Who's going to die first? It will be Andromeda. Will Engineer survives? It looks like it. Ravener trying to cut him off. But, oh, he gets close enough, and yes, he gets the auto attack off. No boots necessary. He's just able to chase him down right there. Has 5 more movement speed. And is able to cut him off, gets the angle, and gets the final auto attack for the kill. So well played right there. And at least makes it a 1-for-1 exchange. But as you would expect, this bottom lane is having a hell of a time in terms of action here. So a lot of fun to watch. But no, now with this Glacius adjustment, though, again, it goes back to look at this top side now. Gemini seeing that he can have a decent time. He is 8-2 currently against a 13-6 Sandwraith. Obviously, a bit of that has to do with how Glacius was up here initially. But now in this 1v1 true matchup, you would think that Gemini, again, could have actually a pretty good time. Tempest coming off of that death now. That really does slow Link 06 here quite a bit. So he is trying to pick that back up. You see a Ward of Sight here, however. Not only giving the Hellborn team vision of where he's at, but also blocking that pole cam. Ward of Sight just placed right here, and I think that might have been spotted, however. So I wouldn't be surprised if that is eventually counter-warded. Glacius, in the meantime, he's going for that bottom rune. He has the bottle on him. It's going to be a regen rune. Can he pick it up? The stun's going over Tempest. No, Tempest gets it first. He steals it from Glacius, and that'll be the end of that. So at least well played by Tempest, able to ninja the regen rune instead of allowing Glacius to bottle that up, and then eventually most likely give it to Ravener, who's, I believe that's whose bottle it is, here from the bottom lane, who has... Oh, no, that was Bubbles' bottle. Okay, never mind. Wait, no. No, it was Ravener's bottle. Yeah, Bubbles has his own bottle. Brodex 5 level, yeah, playing the Ravener, so... Yeah, that is his bottle. He has the boots on top of that. And another 500 gold. It seems like Brodex, yeah, he's having a great time, actually. I was a little surprised at how much farm he's having, but 360 gold per minute. His creep farm, obviously looking pretty damn good. Got 23-9, gonna throw out a random ball lightning right there. I thought somebody might have been coming over, but... in the end, not really the case right there. So, but overall, it seems like things going a lot better for the Law this time around. I mean, the top 3 farmers in the game actually all belonging on their side. So yeah, all 3 lanes ends up not really working right here for Simplified Gaming. So what was really an interesting laning phase, and it seemed like Simplified Gaming trying to respond to what the Law was going to be doing with their setup. It's just. I don't want to say backfired, but I mean, just the lanes in general. I don't know if there really was. I mean, yeah, they could have set the Gemini bottom instead of Magnus and had Magnus suicide, but would that have really been accomplishing a lot more in the end? I mean, Gemini would still be struggling somewhat for farm, you would think, simply because of the aggressive nature of this dual lane, let alone tri-lane down here. I was going to say, I thought he ported bottom, but no, he ported middle, actually, and Prisoner does get picked off. Bubbles using the Kelfield and everything else to assist with that, and Sequence actually getting credit for the kill on a Prisoner right there. So, yeah, the Law really starting to build up momentum now. That's the power of Sandwraith, of course. He gets that ultimate and immediately using it off the bat. So you look at Prisoner, his start now only at 180 gold per minute. I mean, your Suicide Gemini is having the best time, and that's only at 255 GPM. So once again, he is actually going the similar build. He's actually 1-1-1 with 3 levels in the stats, it looks like. So kind of definitely very interesting seeing that there, but he is doing his best to farm here at the top lane. You see Bubbles coming in, though, and going to look to harass him now and try to push him back. But, yeah, the start, though, for Simplified Gaming, they're going to need some things to change up. I mean, they're going to need Tempest to perhaps make an impact when he hits that level 6 mark, get a big ultimate off, get a couple of kills with that. But as I say that, Sandwraith seeing him in the jungle. Now, Sandwraith, are there any Rev Wards? I thought there was. Oh, that's their own, so... he won't be spotted. He's sitting right on top of Tempest. So he's going to open right here. Desert's Curse comes out. The auto attacks. He knows he doesn't have enough mana for a stun. And Tempest will fall right there. That's just unfortunate for him. Well played, though, coming out from Sequence. Taking advantage of the rune control. And able to drop him right there. So, again, definitely just well played on his part. You see Gemini. He's going to send the Fire Dog back. Bottom lane. Magnus gets comboed down by the Ravener. Andromeda combination, and now they're going to start putting pressure onto the tower in the meantime. So this is quickly getting I don't want to say out of hand, I guess. I mean, because again, Gemini's farm, he's actually really starting to jump up quite a bit. 330 gold per minute now. Doing a good job. As I go away from the bottom line, right as I do, they jump him in. Sure enough, they get the kill on Engineer. Ravener's going to pour it out, though, and Magnus, right as he's porting in, not able to stop him. So another kill happening at the bottom lane. Now Ravener's looking at 390 GPM to start. So he's got the steam boost, the power supply. He's got plenty of build-up here early on in this game. Mirage is up once again for Sandwraith as well. So look for a possible kill opportunity maybe at the top lane. Gemini's diving pretty big right here. He's going to take some good tower damage. Cubfoot is ready for Bubbles, so I was going to say with the Sandwraith poured in, with Bubbles doing his thing, they could have possibly, yeah, are they going to try for something? Where is Sandwraith going? Sandwraith is going to the bottom lane, and they're dropping Tempest, so they're coordinating to take out Tempest at the bottom. They do that. Engineer Gemini coming in, though. The Twin Fangs, they do land on Andromeda. No, it didn't! The keg shot actually pushed him away. It doesn't matter, though. You see right there. Gemini still able to pick up the kill. And, okay, so Gemini just used his breath, but he doesn't have it leveled up. So I guess when you're split up without the breath, I honestly was not aware of that. So I guess you still have it on your ultimate dogs of the Ice and the Fire, but just not in the main form. So each unit inherits Gemini's movement speed, abilities to go to their health. And it doesn't say anything on there about how we need him to go back to full form to really look at the more advanced tooltip, but yeah, I honestly was not aware of that. So I guess that's just, wow, it makes this build even that much more interesting. The fact that I guess you don't even need to level up your twin breath to be able to use it in your. I guess it's technically not twin breath; it's more so just the ice breath and fire breath in those forms, but. Very interesting. Again, I was definitely not aware of that. And for those that weren't either, it's, well, there you go. I guess you learned something. Anywho, difficult to pause here, of course, coming out from Team, or the Law. So we'll see what that's about. But in the meantime, Gemini does have a Soul Scream ring, and they're going to be relying on him even more so than last. I mean, last game they had a Kraken and a Ravener that were both doing very well earlier on, and you know, were a big part in terms of moving along in that game. This time around, it is all on Gemini. I mean, Gemini is the key here, so he's going to really show his what kind of carry potential he truly does have in terms of putting his team on its back. Because I mean, you look at everyone else on the team right now; it's just, it's ugly. It's not good at all. I mean, Tempest, ever since that early gank that happened onto him, he now has 3 deaths in total. He's only at 157 gold per minute. He's still even trying to just finish a Ring of Sorcery, let alone no boots or anything like that. So
it's about damn time.
It is a tough start here. In the meantime, Sandwraith, of course, he just uses Mirage, so that's going to be on cooldown. But, I mean, they've also kind of made an adjustment on the Law once again. Sandwraith has been farming up the middle lane for a little bit now as Bubbles is doing his thing at the top lane in the current top lane currently. So Gemini sending the Fire Dog back up here. And you see right there, again, he uses the Fire Breath. So once again, I guess you don't need to level up Twin Breath to be able to do that. So, but using that to help push back the creep wave in the meantime. Hazdrun going to be picked up by Sandwraith. And he's going to head back towards the middle lane. Continue to farm there. Prisoner's impact, I mean, again, just like really everyone else's impact besides the Gemini, has just been very minimal, unfortunately. And especially for a hero like Prisoner, you want to be able to really take advantage of that hook earlier on, but just has not been able to do so. Tough matchup against the Bubbles early on. Meanwhile, the bottom lane swap on Magnus. He's trying to juke Zell. It's not going to matter, though. The damage just too much. Bubbles porting in. He has a cow foot. He ends up hitting both. Prisoner's there. He has a chance for hook, but he also has a chance for Prisoner Break. Probably better in this case. Port coming in. I'm guessing that's Gemini. No, it's Magnus, actually. But all 5 are down here from the Law. So, yeah, Prisoners, and I just don't want to do anything because the chance of us actually killing them is pretty minimal, and we might get taken out ourselves. But Ravener, he wants to make something happen still. Oh, man, he is ready. He is ready. His team support, they are somewhat there. Aurora's going to be thrown out, maybe scouting things out there. Ravener, he needs to find that angle. But once he does, this could be a kill. It's going to land. It does land on the Magnus. He is going to go, and there's the follow. Beautiful execution coming out from the Law. There's the porting from Sandwraith. And Prisoner 945. No porting, excuse me. That was just Sandwraith being there. And Prisoner is going to just great coordination on the part of the Law right there. They're showing Simplified Gaming what's up, and they're definitely an experienced team. And they make some big plays down there at the bottom lane. So 10.5 minutes in. This is looking really good for the Law in terms of forcing a third and final game right now. I mean, Gemini just finishes his Energizer, so he is looking solid in that sense. But there's the bottom tower. You are looking at nearly a 6,500 goldie now on top of a 3,100 experience lead here in terms of where we're at in this game. So Steam Boots picked up by Andromeda on top of a Grave Locket, so secondary support here. His farm's doing pretty damn good. Ravener, obviously, he's got continued to have plenty of build-up. Another 750 gold saved up or so. Bubbles doing his build-up thing. A lot of that going around here on this Hellborn side. And in fact, the Energizer just picked up and delivered to Sandwraith in the process. So Gemini, double damage rune. He's hunting. He wants to find somebody with this, especially, and ideally more of a squishy. I mean, he could definitely drop them pretty quickly, but it doesn't look like the opportunity is going to arise, unfortunately. We'll instead have to go to, well, he's actually going to port bottom, it looks like, because, oh, there is initiation down here. Magma's going to stun. Tempest will barely survive. He gets swapped back in, though. Sandwich just ported in, and they do get the kill with the combo set, but at what cost? Andromeda, the double damage. Gemini doing a lot of damage. Andromeda, though, he is pretty damn fast right here. He got the Energizer buff. He's running away. Ravener ports in with the ball lightning. Gets pulled in. Now the Prison Break comes out. Down goes Magmas, but Ravener's going to get pulled back in from the Prison Break. Gemini putting the auto attacks, and down he goes. Gemini now splitting up. He has his abilities. He's going to leap right there on Bubbles. Will it be enough damage? No, not. He goes back in full form. He has a Twin Fangs, but he's not going to be able to angle it necessarily. Andromeda nearby. Andromeda's in trouble. Bubbles trying to finish off, though. He gets the kill on Andromeda, but Gemini's going to fall to the final auto attack right there. And in the meantime, his teammate, actually, in Prisoner, is now also in a lot of trouble. Desert's Curse on top of the Tundra Blast. He is extra slowed. Sandray chasing Energizer buff. Nice keg stun, but the Shell Surf to finish him off. A double tap for Beaver, and I believe that's how that fight will finish in the end. So once again, Simplified Gaming just not coming together for them. That was their best chance in terms of really starting to calm things down in this game finally, but it just was not enough. Gemini, he's strong, but obviously died in the end. And again, it's supporting cash. They're under leveled, they're under farmed, and that definitely showed there. Well played by Prodex, 5 levels as well. He has some nice ball lightnings there. He's 505 already in this game. Again, farming 380 gold per minute. Continuing to be up there, so the Law really doing everything they can to force that third and final game. And, you know, about addressing the Gemini, it goes back to, like, okay, you can have the Gemini again, but this time around we'll play a little bit different. The laning phase, we'll hurt everyone around you and see what you can make happen. And clearly that's been very beneficial for them when it comes down to it. So, Legion team going to throw out a pause right here real quickly, but I mean, Gemini's farm is still good, but it's just, again, it just doesn't feel like he needs that team support to be able to come through. And although they have ultimates and whatnot, it's just they just don't have the items to really back that. I mean, Tempest, he's level 8. He has the Element Void, hasn't used it yet, but this is a Tempest that doesn't even have his boots yet. I mean, he's sitting on a Ring of Sorcery and a Ring of Teacher here, so that's you know, not good news, especially when you're 13+ minutes into the game. So it's obviously a struggling time, to say the least, for the team as a whole. But they are at that one game advantage at the same time, so they kind of at least have that to fall back on when it's all said and done. So it makes you wonder, too, at 13 minutes into the game, you know, what we're looking at in terms of moving on here as far as, you know, how long they want to last, basically. How long they want to hold into this game. So, yeah, while we're in this pause, this actually was announced by, on his Facebook recently, Emperor, of course, Cyrus as I know him by, but Emperor, as the HoN community knows him by. He's apparently he's leaving Thailand. He's going to be heading back to the States here. I don't know necessarily 100% what that entails in terms of his. I believe he's still planning to stick around gaming by all means, and I don't know if it's going to be Heroes of New Earth or whatever else, but. So that was just announced by him, though. So, and as far as what that means for Impunity Storm, so that means Nova, VN Sensation, and Nox are going to be there, the ones there now still. But there's still a solid team there. It's definitely some bigger name players, but it's going to be interesting to see, you know, what happens with that situation and how that continues to kind of change around. It seems like every couple of weeks we have a new update on that whole Thailand situation over there when it comes down to it. So I actually believe he's. It looks like he's in chat, actually. Shout out to Emperor right there. So I believe he's still in Thailand currently, from my understanding, but he is going to be coming back here in the near future to the States. So, all right. So we're still waiting though for the unpause here. It looks like the Law is obviously ready to go, but Simplified Gaming taking care of something. Don't know what. They haven't said anything. Unless chat's not working for their side for some reason, but yeah, I think they're just not saying anything for some reason. But anyways, okay, so it looks like they're good now.
It's about damn time.
Exactly, Samuel Jackson. But you do see the Fire Doc. He's working his way up towards the top lane right here. Going to continue to farm. You do have, you have Samwraith nearby though. Samwraith have his ultimate up in 5 seconds. Bottom lane, Ravener. Oh, he runs into some action. Tempest has an ultimate, but Ravener a little bit too quick right here with that haste rune, and he is going to be fine in the long run. All four members are here for Simplified Gaming. It looks like Team Excellence, or god damn it, the Law. They're not going to be too interested in doing much else with that. Ravener pushes to the top lane, though he still has a haste rune up. They want to kill this Fire Dog. They want to kill Gemini. They know that he's really the only one right now that's having a decent time. We'll see if they get that opportunity. Oh, he is kind of pushing up right here. The Ice Dog bottom, the Fire Dog top, so you know he's looking at both places. He gets swapped in. The ball lighting and misses. It probably doesn't matter, though. Yep, he's going to be bursted down, and that'll be the end of that. So, yeah, he just wasn't ready. And that's the other that's a tough thing about a hero like that, especially when it's spread out in two completely opposite lanes with your dogs. You know, you're definitely bouncing back and forth, I'm sure, microing. And before you know it, one of your dogs gets jumped by the whole team, and, you know, not much you can do. So the Law doing a good job of addressing Gemini, and now his farm is going to start getting dwindled down a little bit right here. And, you know, again, that, if anything, was the one saving grace, but now with that death, really putting themselves behind. Bubbles level 11. He has an Invis rune sitting here in the middle lane. He actually dodged the hook attempt right there from Prisoner, and here we go. There's the initiation on a Prisoner. Kelfield in the background. Magnus counters out the eruption. No, he moved just before. I don't know if he got stunned or what. It looks like he might have got silenced. The long story short, he will fall in the end. Tempest, he gets an ultimate off, but it doesn't matter. He is a falling. Gemini ports it at the last second as soon as he resurrects, but now he's in trouble. He is possibly going to be bursted. Yes, he will, and I believe we could possibly be seeing that GG well played any second. There you go. Game number 2 is going to be going to the Law. They make a statement here, man. In game number 2, I mean, talk about difference in games. I mean, game 1, Gemini was picked up. It did well. The team did well for Simplified Gaming. The Law, the lineup was kind of funky. It just did not work. This time around, it made a lot more sense. I mean, they definitely played a hell of a game. The laning phase was also very well thought out by them, clearly. And they addressed the lineup of Simplified Gaming this time around, and they made it work. So when it's all said, I mean, the only question mark there for Simplified Gaming was the laning phase for them, where they sent the Magnus bottom instead of the Gemini. They decided to send a Suicide Gemini, but I sit here and find it hard to believe that would have made the big difference in the end. I mean, Gemini would have very likely still got locked in the bottom lane, especially if they just sent the Glacius down there anyways. You know, it just seemed like from the beginning they needed to outplay the Law in those laning phases, at least in a couple of them, and especially the jungle factor also needed to be pretty big, but, you know, Link 06 on that Tempest just was not able to get anything either when it's all said and done. So, long story short, once again, the Law, they take game number 2, and that means we're going to a game number 3, so good to see that at least here in this